Five things nobody tells you about moving to Myrtle Beach. Now, let's be honest. Everybody sees sunshine online and the beautiful beaches we have here in the Grand Strand, but living here full time can be a little bit different than vacationing here. Some things actually surprise folks after they move. Some things are good, some things a little frustrating. Today, I'm going to help you understand real day-to-day life right here in the Grand Strand and along the coast in the Carolinas. Honestly, a lot of whether people love living here comes down to choosing the right area. That comes to our first point. Not every part of Myrtle Beach feels the same. People think that Myrtle Beach is just one big beach town. In fact, they call me all the time going, "Oh, Myrtle Beach, which part do you live in?" Well, I live in a little bit different town. It's called Surfside Beach, sir, or ma'am. And to be honest with you, it's a different lifestyle. It's also a totally different collection of people. Let's talk about a few different areas. One of the first areas is Carolina Forest. Great area, newer suburban feel, growing really fast. It's a lot of families, a lot of great schools. Shopping is very convenient. It's also, though, less of a beach town feel, and traffic can get pretty busy. Now, the next town I want to talk about is one of my favorites because I live in it. Of course, that is Surfside Beach. It's a quieter town. I tell folks all the time I live in a small beach town, and I'm not lying. It is. It's golf cart everywhere. It's a lot of houses, but not as many restaurants. Still, we do have some great ones. It's very family oriented, and locals love it because, well, it's just calmer around here. Murrells Inlet is a marsh town. Everybody jokes that it's a fishing town with a drinking problem, probably because there's more restaurants and bars within the few miles that it is than other areas around here, or maybe even along the whole coast. Boating and fishing is prime. Folks love to go out in their boats, whether in the inlet or in the intercoastal, and everybody loves talking about the latest catch. It's a very local vibe, though, and a very active social scene with a lot of live music happening all along the Marsh Walk. North Myrtle Beach, a little bit more spread out, beach focused, but it can be kind of commercialized because it is a bigger town. Also, they have a lot higher buildings. They don't have the building code such as here in Surfside where you can only go so many stories. In fact, you'll see some of the bigger properties and bigger buildings up there in North Myrtle Beach. But you also have a lot of great restaurants, a lot of great shopping, and you can golf cart to a good amount of the town within it, and actually golf cart to pretty much everywhere you need to go in North Myrtle Beach because the highway doesn't really go through there. It's kind of interesting when you look at it on the map. Folks do call about Conway a lot. Conway is, I guess, considered a beach town, but it's inland a good amount. It's more affordable, has that small town feel. The town has done some awesome things for different holidays. You do have some traffic, especially on Saturdays as everybody goes through Conway as they leave the beach. So keep that in mind. And you still got about a 45-minute ride to the beach. So if you want to move to the beach and you want that beach town feel, Conway may not be what you're thinking. But if you just want to be close to the beach, then Conway is a great option. A lot of people move here thinking that they want one thing, but after visiting the different areas, they really realize that somewhere completely different fits them better. So you want to make sure you come visit and check it out before you make the move. Point number 2, traffic is very seasonable. Traffic isn't horrible here year round. Summer changes a lot of things, especially depending where you're at. As we talked about, there's different types of towns in Myrtle Beach as a whole, and your traffic at each one is going to be very different. To keep in mind, summer traffic is really busy on Saturdays. A lot of folks are leaving their beach houses and Sundays. A lot of folks are checking out of beach houses and traveling, so it does change a lot of the patterns. Beach access roads get pretty backed up sometimes. Restaurant areas also get crowded. You'll have a lot of the locals, you'll hear them talk about very often, they don't go out to eat during the summer. Me and my wife, we still do, but you do adapt a little bit. People learn shortcuts. Being a local helps that, of course, and Highway 31 has helped out a lot. Also, our local governors, our local county commission has already worked on changing some of the local streets and also the local byways to make it easier to get around town. So that is nice. I will say, even during the summer, in the morning, when I got to go to the gym around 7 a.m., there's no traffic. And in the afternoon, it's nothing compared to bigger cities. Winter is completely different. It does get a lot calmer. Now, we still have busy weekends, especially in the spring and the winter if the weather is nice, so keep it in mind. But once again, this is no traffic compared to other areas like Charlotte or Atlanta. So just think about that and plan accordingly. Point number 3, insurance and flood zones matter more than you may even think. If you live somewhere where you're not familiar with flood zones or high insurance due to hurricanes or any kind of weather, then you may be caught off guard when you make the move. Flood zones are very hyper local. As much as the house across the street might be in a flood zone, but the one you're looking at isn't. Elevation changes everything. So does the proximity of a marsh or ocean, as well as where you're at compared to the 17s. If you're east of 17, like we are here in our office, the ocean located right behind us, a lot of this area is in a flood zone. So you'll see houses that are raised. You'll also see a little bit more insurance and much more. You want to do your research when looking to buy a house down here. You want to look at wind and hail damage or coverage, which is huge. A lot of people are like, well, I have homeowners insurance. Well, wind and hail coverage is an extra insurance that goes on your policy. And pretty much it takes care of if a hurricane were to hit and there be any damage due to it. Wind and hail coverage is an expensive thing, but you definitely want to have it because of the damage that can be done. Also, your deductibles can be a little bit higher. Your older houses cost a little bit more to insure. And of course, there's flood insurance. Now, it's up to you whether you want flood insurance or not if you don't need to get it. Sometimes it's so affordable, it's just worth getting. But if the house is located in a flood zone, that flood insurance might get pretty expensive. And it doesn't mean that just because you're inland, such as towns like Conway, that you don't need flood insurance. A lot of the areas, even inland, are still low lying and in a flood zone. So you want to keep that in mind while you're looking at a house. Always talk to your agent about, hey, what area is this? What flood zone is this? And do you have a good insurance agent that I can talk to help me estimate what this is going to cost me? Because I want to get a few quotes to know exactly my cost of living here. Sometimes the cheaper house actually cost you more, especially taking things like insurance and maintenance factored in, than the house that might be a little bit nicer and cost more. Think about it before you make the move. Point number 4. Locals love the off season. A lot of people think that Myrtle Beach is only a tourist town, but actually, as a local, we prefer the quieter months. In fact, fall and winter are quite awesome around here. We call them the locals' summer. I'm telling you, September, sitting on the beach, there's nobody else but you and whoever you're with sitting there hanging out. The weather's still mild. The traffic gets a little bit less. And of course, you can get in some of your favorite restaurants to go eat at happy hour and for dinner with friends and more. Golf weather is perfect during the spring and fall. And of course, the beach walks that you can take are a whole lot less crowded. It's a lot more of a relaxed atmosphere during the fall and summer, or excuse me, fall, winter, and even spring. It's a slower pace, and we have a lot of great events, especially in the spring, in places like North Myrtle Beach, and of course here in Surfside, and even down in the Marsh Walk in Murrells Inlet. Also, easier parking and less waiting everywhere. It definitely feels great here to those folks that moved down from up north. In fact, winter here, for most of them, they'll still walk around in shorts, which, by the way, not me. I can't do it. Many people end up loving year-round living here more than even they expected from the day they thought about moving. So a lot of the locals will tell you September through April is actually the best time of year to be here. It's a very good time of year to hit the beach. Coming to my last point, and one of the best ones, beach living changes your lifestyle. Living near the coast affects daily life more than you ever expected. And I think as people plan their move, they feel their life is going to be very similar from where they're coming from. But it's probably going to change, and I'm saying change for the better. It's a very casual lifestyle here along the coast. People dress a lot more casual. It's also a slower pace, and you'll enjoy your time outdoor even more than ever. Now, weather does change things a little bit. You're going to be a little bit more keen on when it's hurricane season and pay attention to a little bit more of what's happening out there in the ocean. You're also going to check the forecast more because you're going to want to spend time outside inside. When it comes to home maintenance, remember, humidity and salt air do change things, and it does affect your maintenance of your house. So you might have a little bit more upkeep, but it's a lot more enjoyable about doing things outside. I'd say one of my favorite changes as moving to the coast is my golf cart, taking it everywhere, as well as a lot of sunset dinners outside at local great restaurants, and every once in a while when we get a good beach walk in. People move here for the beach, but most end up falling in love with the lifestyle. So to kind of recap this whole video, every area fits folks differently. And what you're looking for is going to change where you might want to be in this area. There isn't a perfect town, but there is one that will fit what you're looking for. Of course, if you ever have questions about what you think your area will be and what will fit your lifestyle, your goals, your budget the most, make sure you reach out and I'd be happy to help. Of course, right here in Myrtle Beach, as well as the North Carolina coast, I can help you look at places like Ocean Isle, as well as different places south of Wilmington, Southport, compared to Murrells Inlet. If you're thinking about moving anywhere along the Carolina coast and trying to figure out what area fits you best, feel free to reach out to me anytime. Thank you so much for watching another episode of Coastal Living with Phil T. I appreciate you following along. Hey, if you're thinking about making the move to the Carolina coast and relocating, or you just enjoy watching these videos, make sure you subscribe and follow. And well, if you're thinking about making the move, give me a call. Thanks. Have a great day.